Where's your sleigh?
It's in the shop, getting repaired.
Where's the reindeer?
I stabled them. Is it left or right?
That way. Where's the stable?
Next to the shop.
How do they sleep?
Where the reindeer is standing up.
But the noise, how do they sleep?
What noise?
From the shop.
They only work during the day.
What's good, YouTube? Stan the Man here, back at y'all with another one with a quick Christmas movie review for y'all. So we did day 1 and day 2. Now we're gonna do day 3. So yeah, man, we're still trying to play a little catch up, man. So we're just gonna go ahead and drop day 3. So let's go ahead and just get into it. So the movie I'm gonna be reviewing today is none other than Bad Santa. Now this is a little bit of a left turn from the happy family, oriented movies from Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. This is a little bit more vulgar, a little bit more outrageous, and a little bit more, adult-like, So basically, this movie, it's kind of an ensemble cast, I would say. You got Bernie Mac. Obviously, Billy Bob Thornton is the main character of the film, and then you got Tony Cox, and then you have Lauren Graham. Cloris Leachman has a small role in the film, and then you got Brett Kelly from The Sandlot 2, if y'all remember him. And so, yeah, man, it's a bit of an ensemble cast. A lot of people that you can kind of recognize in this film. So basically, it starts off with Willie Soap. Now, that's Billy Bob Thornton's main character, and then you have Tony Cox. His character is Marcus Skidmore, and then Marcus Skidmore has a girlfriend named Lois. So basically, these three are career criminals. So basically, with Marcus Skidmore's character, with Tony Cox's character, so everybody knows Tony Cox is a little person. So Marcus is Marcus. He pretty much is the mastermind, planning all of these jobs and whatnot. So they're career criminals. They basically, what they do is around Christmas time, they dress up as Santa and his elf, which is why it's the perfect disguise, because so you have Billy Bob Thornton character, he's Willie, and then you have Tony Cox's character. He's, like I said, he's a little person, so it's just the perfect disguise for Santa and his elf. So what they do is they kind of do their whole Kris Kringle they kind of their whole Kris Kringle bit where they go in the mall, they take pictures with children and stuff, and get kids ready for the Christmas season or whatnot. So he's pretty much just kind of faking it till the store closes or whatnot, because that's the whole operation. They go and they kind of do the whole Christmas bit, and then when the mall closes, that's when they get to work. So Marcus, he kind of basically he disables all of the alarms, and then Willie's character, his job is to crack the safes open. And once he cracks the safe open, Marcus' character, Marcus' girlfriend, she's the getaway driver. So they go into the mall, they do the Christmas bit. When the mall closes, they steal everything, and then they bounce up out of there. But the problem is that the thing is that they're pretty much successful. They're fairly successful in all of their career criminal endeavors. But the problem is that Willie is a raging alcoholic and a raging sex addict. So that gets in the way of him being able to perform his job to the best of his ability. He used to be very fast at cracking the safe, and now he's getting a lot slower or whatnot. So Marcus is kind of getting concerned, and he's just like, man, look, I can't keep doing these jobs with you. You starting to slip. So Willie was just like, well, I'm done with this anyway. And this is in the beginning of the movie. So Willie says, you know what, I'm done with this, man. I'm gonna pack my stuff up and move to Florida and open me up a bar and just live the good life from the spoils of their, labor or whatnot, the fruits of their labor, I should say, or something like that. But either way, Willie says, I'm done with this. And Marcus is like, yeah, you BS, and you're an alcoholic. You're always going to be an alcoholic. Come this time next year, you're going to be hoping I call you about another job to do. So basically, Willie says, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? So he goes and, I guess, he tries to, do better for himself. But then, obviously he's an alcoholic. So he falls into the same kind of patterns, and he's down on his luck again. And pretty much Marcus, like he said, he calls him up with another job opportunity, and Willie takes it. And this time they're going to a different city, and they're in this mall, and that's when we meet John Ritter's character. His character is Bob Chapesca. He's the general manager of this mall. And then you have Bernie Mac's character. He's the head of security of the mall. So basically, when Bob Chapesca has to fire the original Santa Claus that they usually get every year, he fires him and then brings in, obviously, Willie and Marcus's character, because he's the perfect Santa and elf kind of combination. He hasn't, like, they have an actual, it looks better with them playing the role. So that's how they're able to weasel their way in to get that mall job. And basically what happens is Bob Chapesca's character, he doesn't really have a good feeling about them. Willie comes in, he's smoking, he's lethargic, and he looks like he's already under the influence of alcohol. So he brings up his concerns to Jen. I think his name is Jen. His name is Jen Schlager or whatnot. That's Bernie Mac's character. So Jen Schlager, he goes and kind of does his investigating bit or whatnot, and he kind of busts them out. And he kind of says, I kind of got y'all. I know what y'all here for. I know what y'all trying to do. So basically, instead of busting them out and reporting them to the police, he does the little snaky thing and he says, you know what? Okay, cool. Y'all can do what y'all do, but I want half. I want half. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's obviously a problem because you already got to split it 3 different ways. You bring in somebody else in that wants half of whatever y'all get. So obviously they can't have that. So, obviously that kind of brings up a conflict within itself. And then at the same time, Willie kind of befriends, he doesn't really befriend this kid's character, but he kind of attaches to this kid's character. Now this is Brett Kelly's character. His name is Thurman Merman. So now this kid is kind of the typical kid that's always getting picked on, always getting bullied. His parents are not at home. He lives with his grandmother, and his grandmother's his main guardian. Now, that's Cloris Leachman's character as well. And basically, she's kind of senile. She's kind of not really all the way up there in his head. So he's pretty much by himself, basically. His mom's passed away, and his dad is off exploring the mountains, but in reality, he's in prison for embezzlement. So Willie kind of sniffs this out, and he kind of he kind of uses it to his advantages, and he attaches himself to the kid and moves in after he figures out that somebody's investigating his hotel room, and he basically gets spooked. I mean, I would be spooked if I seen somebody in my hotel room throwing stuff around trying to investigate. So he moves in with Thurman and his grandmother, and it kind of chronicles from there. And then he meets this bartender named Sue, and they kind of strike up brief relationship or whatnot or whatever you have it. So it just kind of chronicles from there. The kid kind of learns how to stand up for himself, obviously, because Willie's a drunk alcoholic. He's like, man, kid, you got to kind of, you can't let people knock you around all the damn time and stuff. So it's kind of like one of those things to where, like, yeah, he's kind of a bad influence, but he's kind of a good influence at the same time. But it's kind of one of those weird movies. It's got all the things to make a decent movie, and it was actually received pretty well. Now, they did do a sequel, Bad Santa 2. It wasn't as well received, but in my opinion, and I'm also going to review that movie next for my day 4. So it's Bad Santa 2 wasn't as great as the first movie, but it's still a lot of good laughs you can get from there. And obviously it's an ensemble cast with them as well. Kathy Bates, Christina Hendricks, just a few people that they kind of brought in for that one. So yeah, man, it's definitely a good movie. I would say, maybe not bring your kids to watch this movie. Maybe you and a couple of friends, or you and your significant other, y'all can probably watch the movie and, kind of keep the kids, let the kids play Home Alone and y'all can watch Bad Santa. How about that? So it's definitely not something that I would suggest kids to watch because it's a lot of profanity in there, and they'll definitely try. Like my daughter, anytime I might slip up, my daughter she listens and she'll end up saying something. So that's why I try to keep myself away from watching those type of movies when she's around. But it's definitely a very funny movie, and if you haven't seen it, man, I definitely suggest y'all to check it out, man. It's definitely worth the watch. So yeah, man, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but yeah, man, it's basically 3 bank robbers, or not 3 bank robbers, but there are 3 people that burglarize malls and steal stuff from malls. There are 3 thieves, and then one of them is an alcoholic, and he's trying to still like do his job effectively as a criminal and still deal with his alcoholism at the same time. But hey man, he's also a raging sex addict as well. So he's got all the problems, man. But it's definitely a fun movie, man. I definitely suggest y'all to watch it, check it out if y'all haven't. And yeah, man, we will review Bad Santa 2, and then after that, we'll probably go back to the the family-oriented Christmas movies, because those are a lot better to review. Just because, man, it's just a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I definitely want to do, a lot more, kid-friendly and family-friendly movies, but definitely just wanted to get off one of my favorite ones, because like I said, man, we're all adults here. Some, not all Christmas movies are going to be, candy canes and non-profanity. So, definitely check that movie out, man. We definitely got some more movies on the way. So yeah, man, stay safe, stay blessed, and as always, stay dangerous. Standing, man, we will see y'all on the next one.